I don't want you to pity me, Mr. Murphy. I have enough creature comforts to make life worth living. I feel like a parent whose child has left the nest. I created Gideon Enterprises, nursed it, and raised it to adulthood. And now it's left me with an empty home and too many hours in the day. I'd rather talk about something more pleasant. Suffice to say that Mr. Shimming will not be receiving a Christmas card from me this year. This is Karl Linsky? Well, I only knew him by name, and I didn't recognize the other man. No, I'm unfamiliar with the name. I don't know who he is. I wish I could be of more assistance. I sometimes feel that Capricorn is the last bastion of sanity in the world. Their efforts are laudable but futile. Rona Morgan was a beautiful, intelligent woman trapped in a deformed shell. She joined our engineering team early on and soon proved her immense value. She went into business for herself some time ago, with my blessing. I'm afraid I haven't heard of it. I know nothing about that. I wish I could be of more assistance. Chess is my only diversion. Oh, if you care to play, I'd be glad to teach you a thing or two about the game. In chess terminology, a poisoned pawn is the bait in a trap. Whoever is going by that name probably considers him or herself a sacrificial lamb, so to speak. Mr. Valdez runs a chess shop called the Rank and File in the Old City. We play quite often over the Ethernet. Yes, he's one of the few worthy opponents I've found. I'm afraid I haven't heard of it. The Law and Order Party is merely a Machiavellian byproduct of our society's decay. Their goals are not altogether unworthy, but those ends do not justify their means. But unfortunately, they've struck a chord with the public. And with an appealing candidate like Robert Knott, they will surely gain a great deal of power. While I don't know him personally, my instincts tell me that Mr. Knott is a man of integrity. But I've been wrong before. I know nothing about that. I wish I could be of more assistance. I'm afraid I haven't heard of it. Unfortunately, my condition has required numerous treatments. The care I've received at North Hill, however, has been exceptional. I owe what quality of life I have to a variety of DHS medications. Without them, I probably would not be having this conversation. I only know, I should say knew, him by reputation. He was an outstanding neurologist in his time. I read about his suicide in the newspapers. I am unacquainted with her. I wish I could be of more assistance. You remind me very much of myself when I was younger. I sincerely hope you'll keep in mind the things I've told you.
The rank and file was right in the middle of the old city.
Wasn't this back when they still called it the Freak Town?
Yeah, the Mutant League was in high gear at the time, and the whole mutant norm thing was just starting to heat up. I got more than a few nasty looks when I showed up at the chess shop. How's the game going?
Welcome to the rank and file. What can I do for you?
Well, Jay St. Gideon got tired of kicking my butt and suggested I come down here for a few pointers on my chess game.
Mr. Gideon can make anyone's chess game look shabby. What seems to be the problem?
Well, one of the pawns from my chess set is very, very sick. I think he may have been poisoned. Anything you can do to help?
What kind of chess set do you have?
Well, don't tell anyone, but I have the live endangered species set I got through the black market. It's a lot of fun, but man, replacing the pieces, they're a little pricey.
What you're talking about is illegal.
Man, you bleeding heart liberals, you're all the same.
Call this a hunch. But you're not here to ask me about chess, are you? What do you want?
Hey, wait a second. You're not the Jorge Valdez, are you?
That's my name, though I'm sure there are one or two others in the world.
You're not related to Juan Valdez, are you? He makes some good coffee.
100% Colombian, from what I understand. So, who are you?
I'm a friend of Jay St. Gideon's.
Oh, if you're a friend of Mr. Gideon's, you're a friend of mine. How can I help you? Mr. Gideon's been a friend of the mutants for years, unlike most people in his social strata. He's a great man. It makes me angry as hell to think what Shimming did to him. Back when I was a programmer, I worked there for a couple of years, until Shimming took over. Everything changed for the worse. It was like working under Stalin. Nice guy. He used to come in here occasionally. I read in the paper that he killed himself. It's too bad. I recognize Linsky, of course, but I don't know the other person. Though I think I may have seen him with Frank Shimming years ago. Don't know him. Don't know him. I have no idea who that is. You know what the Law and Order Party is? It's the Fourth Reich. They won't rest until every mutant is deported, imprisoned, or dead. I haven't heard anything about it. I'm really not familiar with that. Ah, The hospital to the rich and famous. I haven't been fortunate enough to be a patient there. Never heard the name before. Poisoned pawn is a chess term. It refers to an apparently unprotected pawn whose capture leads to dire consequences. If I had to guess, I'd say the author of the anonymous letter felt like he was the first link in a dark chain. Life is a chess game, and Law and Order has all the power pieces. Capricorn is about the last organization in the world that considers us mutants to be human beings. I think there's a battle brewing between them and the Law and Order Party. Haven't heard of her. I'm really not familiar with that. I haven't heard anything about it. Why are you asking about me? I'm just a source of information to someone like you. I don't know anything about the letter or why my name was mentioned in it. Not is the pretty facade that disguises the Law and Order Party's war machine. I'm really not familiar with that. I haven't heard anything about it. I have no idea who that is. You seem like an interesting guy. Makes me wish you were more of a chess player.
Tex Murphy here.
Are you investigating the death of Carl Linsky?
Well, it depends. Who's asking?
A friend. Just a friend.
You're not calling to see whether I need my carpets cleaned, are you?
No.
So what do you need?
The question is, what do you need?
Well, a good home-cooked meal would be nice, but other than that, I need a lead.
A University of San Francisco professor, Val Davis, died in a speeder crash last week.
Well, that's interesting, but it's not much of a lead, is it?
Davis was working on the STG project with Linsky.
Okay. Now you've got my attention.
There are answers to be found in Davis's laboratory on the USF campus, Building C. If you get there within the hour, the doors will be unlocked.
Okay, I'm on my way, but what am I looking for?
The chess move. I'll be watching. When you find it, I'll contact you again.
Ooh, intriguing. So who was the mysterious informant?
I had no idea at the time.
You're not going to tell me, are you?
I'll tell you this. I didn't waste any time getting over to the USF campus and into Val Davis's lab. Sure enough, it was unlocked and I started looking around.